By the end of this movie, I wanted to go home and break out the Wii for some Wii Sports tennis action, baby. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I have my review of Luca Guadagnino's Challengers, which hits theaters April 26th. I was able to see the film early, so this is my honest, non-spoiler review. But before I dive into my thoughts, be sure to hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. Subscribe into that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it, or your expectations / predictions if you have not yet watched it. And as always, consider becoming a Film Stock patron today. Your support over there means the world, and you'll gain access to exclusive content, including commentary tracks for various movies and TV shows. Alright, so I was gonna do a pros and cons like I typically do, but I'm not gonna BS you. This is my favorite movie of the year. I'm just gonna come right out and say that. I don't have any cons with this movie. It's a 5 out of 5. How does that feel, getting that information this early on? Do you want to click away from the video? I'm sure you can if you want, but stick around because I have a lot to say. Genuinely, this movie floored me. I had no idea what it was going to be going in. In fact, I've never seen a Luca Guadagnino film. I've seen parts of Call Me By Your Name, but I've never fully watched it, and I never caught bones and all. So I was kind of skeptical going in. I was like, I know Luca Guadagnino is this acclaimed director who's been nominated for an Oscar and all that jazz, but I just didn't know how to feel, and I walked out really floored. This is an enthralling watch. There's no other way to cut it, and it's anchored by 3 heavyweight performances. Zendaya shines. I would not be surprised if she got nominated for an Oscar here, but she genuinely is the star of the show, and each year she further continues to build her resume as maybe one of the better working actresses in Hollywood today. Mike Faist, our Broadway king, shines here as well. He doesn't get to sing, but you might as well call him a dancer the way he's moving around that tennis court. And of course, Josh O'Connor, who I'd actually never seen, to my knowledge, in anything else prior to this film, was amazing. Every performance was electric in its own right, but Josh O'Connor and Mike Faist's characters have a palpable tension between the two of them that really pushes this movie forward. They're rivals not only in an athletic sense as they're competing on a tennis court, but it goes much deeper with the two of them as Zendaya's character is intertwined in their love life, and it becomes this spicy love triangle of sorts in a movie that explores manipulation and backstabbing, but more so just romantic rivalries in general and how far one will go to succeed in life. It deals with the consequences of success as well. This movie has a lot to say about being in the public eye and how one can have a rise and fall very quickly, but also how do you handle that behind the scenes with your family and with your personal life. And the movie explores a lot of these themes really wonderfully. Now, I was locked in with this movie from the start because of how the story unfolds. It's a movie where you watch the first 10 or 15 minutes and you're wondering, how is this all going to connect? It kind of just throws you in the middle of the action, if you will. And then through a series of flashbacks, more depth is provided for every single character, and as we cut back to the present day where the film opened, we sort of view each scene through a new lens as we learn more information about the main characters, and the movie sort of intertwines these various timelines, which automatically, for me at least, had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, I'm curious to see where we're going next with this narrative. It almost flowed much like a tennis match with this constant back and forth. We're going to a scene a week prior that's adding more depth. It's almost like the director was giving us a little hint or clue and sort of feeding us these little pieces of the puzzle along the way through a series of flashbacks that ultimately culminated in an enthralling climax. I'm talking riveting stuff. By the end of this movie, I'm not even gonna lie to you, my theater, which was a press-only screening, a lot of the times they are more so reserved and not as outspoken about films like, say, the opening night of Avengers Endgame, for example, but there was a moment or two in this film where the audience audibly gasped, had a visible reaction to what was happening on screen, and it felt like there was this sense of community in the theater, almost like they were reacting to a big superhero film, and that just added to the experience for me. I was surprised at how riveting of a film this was. Like, it's genuinely a thriller at times, but it's driven forward by the dialogue, but more importantly, the score. This is my favorite score of the year. It's composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross of The Social Network fame. They won an Oscar for their work there, and I'll be honest with you, as of right now, they should win the Oscar for their work here. I was about ready to run through a brick wall various times in this movie because of the score. It was so upbeat and just had this unique, cool style to it that every time it started to play, I honestly got fired up. Multiple chill-inducing moments because of the score. I am a huge advocate for the power of music in films, and this movie excels when it comes to having a killer score that really adds to every single scene in this movie. This was a captivating watch, a fun watch that I firmly believe will be a crowd pleaser and be a surprise smash hit of the year. I don't think I've heard a bad thing about this film. As I walked out of the screening a few weeks back, the emotions were high, everyone was sort of reeling from what we just experienced, and I genuinely went in with super low expectations. I thought it would be a solid movie. Didn't expect it to blow me away in the manner that it did. The movie's sleek, it's sexy, dare I say, but it doesn't stray away from that. Like, the movie just has this hot and heavy atmosphere that, as you watch through the movie, you can feel the tension on screen between the three actors, and it is done so well. And it's not just for show either, it very much plays into the main plot of the movie and makes for some brilliant reveals throughout the course of the film. And when it comes to ending your movie on a high note, this movie knocked it out of the park. It's very comparable to the way I felt when I first watched Whiplash, where I was just over the moon and elated as the credits rolled and the screen cut to black. That's exactly how I felt with Challengers. This is a movie with a very distinct style. You've got a score from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross that adds to this atmosphere. The three lead performances from Zendaya, Mike Faist, and Josh O'Connor are outstanding, and they bounce off each other so well. Each line they deliver, it's almost like they're all playing a chess game amongst each other. It reminded me of Game of Thrones in a way. Like when you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or die. People were just constantly trying to outsmart or outmanipulate one another, and it just made for a surprisingly fun watch. The movie gripped me from the opening, and it never missed a beat. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes and flew by in my mind, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how well shot the film is, specifically the camera work in a tennis match near the end of the film, where the audience almost becomes the tennis ball. It was so cool. It felt like we as the audience were the tennis ball, which almost put us in the middle of the tension. It was a way for the audience to feel like they were directly involved with this narrative, and it was just so impressive. There's a lot of payoff by the end of this film. It's a smart script that plants the seeds for things that would come to fruition later on. And through, I cannot shut up about how great this movie is. Challengers is the best movie of the year so far to me. It genuinely floored me. I went in with low expectations and walked out elated. It's got everything you could ask for in a movie, and the score I cannot wait to continue listening to for years to come, but Challengers is a winner. I cannot recommend this movie enough. But that's going to do it for my review of Challengers. Let me know your thoughts on this one down below, as well as your expectations if you have not yet seen it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and of course, go show some love to my Patreon for $5 a month. You guys can make a big impact on my content creation journey and gain access to exclusive content over there as well. But that'll do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.